Thanksgiving break starts tomorrow, but first, coming up on ATV News, we'll show you how an app could help the homeless.
Both Elder Ballard and I will discuss what happened here tonight and how we could have done it better.
Two LDS Church Apostles visited campus for a live Q&A session. We'll show you our exclusive interview with them.
Bringing the North Pole here to Cache Valley, we'll show you who already has the Christmas spirit.
We had a championship game, a play-in game, and senior day. I'll tell you who did what and how they all did in sports.
It may be too cold to play football in the park today, but I'll show you what it'll look like on your Turkey Bowl Thanksgiving, coming up in weather.
All that and more, ATV News starts now.
Welcome to ATV News. I'm Braden Clark.
And I'm Brian Petty.
Two apostles from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints were here on campus. They held a live Q&A broadcast with USU students. Elder M. Russell Ballard and Elder Dallin H. Oakes answered questions about same-sex attraction, pornography, handling anxiety, and a few other 4,000 questions sent in before the broadcast by young single adults. Some questions even came over Skype from Lima, Peru, and Mexico City, Mexico. Elder Ballard says talking to these young single adults was a great privilege, but it came with a great responsibility.
To be called as an apostle of the Lord Jesus Christ, first of all, is very difficult for any of us to fully comprehend what that calling really means.
Sharing about their callings, Elder Ballard and Elder Oakes say they have served together as apostles for 33 years. Elder Oakes says students in college are learning so much about life and that he hopes they will take time to learn about the church too.
So much of what we learn in college is the how to do it. But only the gospel of Jesus Christ in its restored fullness answers the question of why.
After an hour and a half, the broadcast ended with singing by an all-USU student a cappella group. To see our full exclusive interview with Elder Ballard and Elder Oakes, visit our YouTube channel.
Congress is one step closer to making changes that are likely to affect your pocketbook. Led by Speaker Paul Ryan, the House Republicans approved a sweeping tax bill that could be the biggest change to the tax system in 30 years. The bill would shrink the current 7 tax brackets down to 4, with the highest bracket reserved for couples who jointly make more than $1 million. While most Americans would get a tax cut or be unaffected by this change, those on the edges of the current brackets are the very poor could see a rate increase. The bill lowers the corporate tax rate from 35% to 20% and creates a 25% rate for businesses that measure their income by the income of the owners, called pass-through businesses. It would also double the amount of standard deductions but eliminate the exemptions based on dependents. However, the child tax credit would go from $1,000 to $1,600 per dependent. Finally, the estate tax would be slowly repealed over 6 years. These changes will only happen if the bill is approved in the Senate, and even if it is approved, the Senate can make changes to the current bill passed through the House.
Did you know 65% of homeless people have cell phones? That's what one data analyst says. I went to this year's hackathon where students came from all over Utah. Together that they could help build an app to make life for the homeless a little easier.
Hackers get a bad rap, but this year's USU Hackathon is a little different. They're trying to help the homeless. Students split into groups to come up with ideas that could help homeless people.
And as far as the participation with the sponsored mentors, and that's been wonderful as we encourage our mentors to work with our students.
All happen inside that 4 week. So a lot of people have taken that.
Mentors held seminars all weekend. from game development to data surveying. This computer science professor says he's a little jealous of this opportunity.
I just think this is cool that the university is doing this when, back in the old days when I got my degree, there were no fun, interesting things like this. It was, you'll get your degree and you'll like it.
And this one's actually very kind of near and dear to myself.
Opportunities like developing an app for those in need.
Do you guys know that the state of Utah spent $67 million dealing with our homeless problem here in the state of Utah in the last year? We have about 1,000 chronically homeless people in Salt Lake. And so one of the reasons that I wanted to come up here and do this is to really get on my knees and beg you guys to think about very unique ways that you guys can help us figure out a way to solve this homeless problem.
One idea is to have an app on your phone when something like a free haircut is available in your area.
Depending on the thing.
That perhaps we could build an app you could actually push out specific things to those homeless individuals that are not cash. That way you know that individual is going to get that coat, those socks, that toothbrush, that haircut, that flu vaccine or something else, or that medication that he or she needs.
For more on how to get involved, you can reach them by emailing hackusu@gmail.com.
When we come back, it's the end of her senior year playing volleyball for USU. We'll show you where she's been and where she's going.
Have you seen these signs on campus lately? We'll show you what they're for.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Welcome back to ATV News.
If you've been up on campus lately, you may have seen some Come Meet Jane signs. These signs were set up by the USU Post Office as a way to introduce students and faculty to their new postal clerk. Jane Hamblin replaced longtime postal clerk Kevin Johnson, who passed away from cancer last December. If you want to meet Jane, go to the Taggart Student Center, walk up to the window, and talk to Jane. If you go before December 8th, you can enter a drawing to win a $50 gift card to the student store. Post office workers say that they are doing this campaign to bring awareness to the TSC post office, because without customers, they won't be able to stay in business.
They have no idea that we're here, so we wanted to bring attention to it just to bring some more customers in. So everybody is using us so we can stay here as a great service for students and faculty and staff.
Jane also says they work to have the cheapest postal prices in town. They are open from 8 to 4:15 Monday through Friday.
She just finished her last volleyball game on Saturday, and now she's heading out on a church mission. ATV's Erin Cox introduces you to USU senior Kayla DeCourcy.
You know that feeling. I love winning. And she's good at it too.
She grinds. She's one of the strongest players on the team in the weight room.
I'm really impressed with her that she kept a lot of fire through her senior year.
I was always impressed with her positive attitude and in spite of injuries.
She's got the knee stuff going, but she keeps coming back and playing.
It's that determination that kept DeCourcy on the court after a torn ACL, a torn meniscus, and other smaller injuries.
The injury made her want to do it more.
And DeCourcy's mom says she's been that way since the beginning.
She was in 5th grade. I took her to a camp. We only made it to the sign-up tables, and she freaked, and we went home because she cried all the way home. Later, when she calmed down, she agreed to go back the next day. So we went back, finished the Viewmont camp, and then from there, she stepped into some places, but one of the big steps was we had her on a little club team.
In club volleyball, she recognized the need to improve in some things, and so she got up at 5 o'clock, I think, every morning. She had some other friends in high school that said, I want to do that with you. So they did it for about 2 weeks, and then they quit. She did it by herself, I think, for 2 or 3 years.
The thing I respect about her most is that she works for what she wants or should do.
And volleyball isn't the only thing DeCourcy wants to do.
Hand sewed it on so that it would
She sews.
lay straight. It was really flowy. It looked good on the runway.
And her clothes were put on for Utah Fashion Week.
With her sewing and her fashion design and all that kind of fun stuff that she does, and be a student and be an athlete, she's been able to strike a really nice balance between all of those things.
But starting in January, DeCourcy won't be doing either.
You are assigned to labor in the Spain Malaga mission.
She'll be serving a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
I'm excited to see where this next adventure takes her.
Even if it's taking her away from the volleyball court.
Utah State has been the greatest place that I could have possibly imagined. And I'm just really grateful for my teammates and for my coaches and for the just amazing all-around experience I've had at Utah State.
And for a year and a half,
I really love her.
away from the ones she loves.
You know, I've worked with a lot of athletes over the years, and she's just awesome.
I love her with all my heart, and I just feel so blessed. I don't know why I got so lucky to have her be one of my children.
Erin Cox, ATV News.
DeCourcy is done playing volleyball but will return to USU after her mission to finish up her degree in home economics.
ATV's Taylor Emerson will have the highlights from USU's final volleyball game later in sports.
But for now, your current temperature is 51 degrees.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at Discover the Forest.
Thanks for sticking around. Chaz Ricks joins us here in the studio. Chaz, how's the weather going to be like this weekend?
Yeah, because I've been seeing some snow up on the mountains, and it's starting to creep its way down into the valley a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. We have a lot of snow. I mean, especially on the top, it kind of reminds me of Justin Timberlake's Frosted Tips from the early 2000s. But what's really cool is that Brighton is opening this today, and this is a video that my friend sent me of their 3-year-old boy on his skis. He's doing way better than I would ever do, so that's pretty awesome. Do you guys remember the last year's winter? It was a pretty rough one. We had a pretty brutal winter. We had a lot of snow. We had just a ton of snow. That's my daughter in there. And according to the Farmer's Almanac, we're in for a worse winter than last winter. So we're in for a rough winter, but right now let's check out our national radar. On the national radar we have over here, we have in the northwest, We have a little bit of precipitation coming in from Oregon and Washington State. And then after, coming down through California, we see over here it keeps coming through. If we look through the Midwest, we see a little bit of precipitation pushing up through, not a lot. And then down to the bottom of Texas and kind of over in there's a little bit. Down in Florida, there's a little bit of precipitation. Like I said, they're getting a little bit, not a ton. So all my friends that are down there in the 305, you guys looks like you're staying pretty much dry. So let's see what we've got in Logan and see what we have for us right now. Right now what we have is not a whole lot. There's a lot of sunshine though. So we see a lot of sunshine, not too many clouds. Today was a little kind of a partly cloudy day, but the sun broke out and it's starting to look really, really nice. And that's going to kind of keep pushing into our 7-day forecast. So on today, we've got a high of 51 with a low of 32. On Wednesday, we'll be up to about 58 degrees. With a low of 32, we're going to get kind of around freezing, especially at nighttime. It's going to hit freezing temperatures, so you're going to have to end up scraping the ice off your car. You're going to have to do all those annoying things. And we're going to have on Thanksgiving, on Thursday, we're going to be hitting 59 degrees. So that's awesome, because when you have your turkey bowls, when you're going out, you're having fun, you eat your Thanksgiving dinner, you're going to be able to just go outside, go for a walk, go play football, do whatever you need to get over all that turkey. Through the rest of the week, looks like on Friday we've got it's another 20 degrees, a 20% chance of rain. And then through the weekend, we're just looking good. It's going to be partly cloudy. There's not going to be a whole lot going on. On Saturday, there's going to be 58 degrees with a low of 32. Sunday, we're going to see 57 degrees with a low of 34. And on Monday, it's just going to kind of keep going through. So it's kind of a great weekend to enjoy it with your family. If you're going to go hunting, I think it's pheasant season right now. So if you're going to go out and be outside, right now would be the time to do it. Because according to the Farmer's Almanac, we're really kind of we're in for a rough winter. So I don't know. Are you guys excited for Thanksgiving? It looks like it's going to be a good one.
That weather looks amazing. I mean, high 50s for the next 7 days. I think I could live with that.
Yeah. So I love being warm. So stretching out this winter, or this summer, I guess, into winter is the happiest I could possibly have this scenario.
Totally agree.
Speaking of happiness, how's sports this weekend?
Well, Brady, coming up in sports, we'll show you if the Utah State football team was able to finish off their home season right. And there was another senior send-off last week. We'll tell you how they did as well.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite. Unearth hidden passion. So mama, have a good time. One book can be the first little thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Talk to my 15-year-old daughter, she'll say I've got one brother and 113 stepbrothers. And that's just our family. That's the way we look at it.
That was Utah State football head coach Matt Wells getting a little emotional when talking about this year's senior class. and welcome to ATV Sports. That senior class was in action on Saturday for Aggie football when they battled it out with Hawaii for a chance to keep their season alive by becoming bowl eligible. So let's take a look at how they did. They started off right by handing this one to Gerald Bright, who takes it 60 yards for the touchdown. He contributed 93 yards to the Aggies' 311-yard rushing total for the game. And then it was senior quarterback Kent Myers who found Braylon Roberts deep for 49 yards and the score. The Aggie defense also had a good showing, recording 4 sacks, including that one, this one, and this one. Sophomore quarterback Jordan Love finished the day with this 15-yard scamper. He loses his shoe, no problem for him. They complete the 38-0 shutout, and they say they won this one for their seniors.
It's senior day is always bittersweet, but to be able to send these guys out as winners, you know, in Maverick one more time is huge.
They wanted to do it for us seniors, and us seniors wanted to do it for each other. I think it was probably the most selfless game that we've probably played as a whole, just in regards of energy and where we were putting our heart and our soul into it.
And with the win, the Aggies have become bowl eligible, but their postseason destiny can still be changed with a win at Air Force on Saturday. And the women's volleyball team also celebrated their seniors last Thursday when the team took on Nevada, and those seniors led the way for the Aggies. Senior outside hitter Lauren Anderson was Utah State's leader in kills for the game, notching 22, one shy of her career high. So here's a small sample of her big day. Fellow seniors Kayla DeCourcy and Rachel Gale Hammond each notched 11 digs, like that diving attempt from 26, and this one from number 11. But the Aggies ultimately fell to the Wolfpack 3-1, dropping them to 15-14 on the year. And Utah State finished its regular season off with a 3-1 win at San Jose on Saturday. Both Utah State basketball teams were in action this past weekend, and I'll tell you now, the results weren't what the Aggies had hoped for, but there were some bright spots in between. First up, the women taking on Arizona. As a team, the Aggies knocked down 7 threes, including this one from Haley Bassett, which gets a friendly bounce. Then Jessie Greer from the corner, she drains it. She was followed by Olivia West, who also got a friendly bounce, but West would finish with a team-high 13 points. And you know what? How about one more three from West? Hitting this one, this time from the corner, no friendly bounce needed. Joining West with double digits in the scoring column was Rachel Brewster, driving, then hitting the step-back jumper with 2 hands in her face. But she wasn't done, driving, stopping, and dropping in this hook. Then Brewster also joined in from beyond the arc, draining this tray. She finished with 11 points. Duffy contributed 8 points to the Aggies with a couple nice layups, but she also notched a team-high 8 rebounds. But again, the result left something to be desired, dropping 65-49 against the Wildcats. Now on to men's team taking on Gonzaga in Spokane, Washington, and in keeping with the theme, sophomore guard Sam Merrill had himself an evening behind the arc, dropping in these 3 threes, one here. Let's go, another one there, and last one here, a step-back jumper from the corner. Merrill finished with a team-high 19 points. And D'Angelo Isby also netted 3 threes himself, first here from the corner, then off an assist from teammate Sam Merrill with a little pressure in his face. Then the last one of the night from a few steps behind the arc, Isby finished his night with 13 points. But it was the Bulldogs' big men that were bullying the Aggies, with Killian Tilley here finishing with a team-high 20 on the night, and Corey Kispert finishing second in points with 12. Aggies lose 79-66. The Aggie men lost a close one against Portland State last night, but they'll be back in action against Northeastern on Friday. Meanwhile, the Aggie women are taking on Southern Utah in Cedar tonight. And now, our other member of ATV Sports, Bo Lamb, joins us here in studio. And Bo, you were down at Rice Eccles on Friday, weren't you?
I was. It was really cool.
Why does he sound so bad?
Quite go as we planned, but it was still an interesting end to what was otherwise a pretty great season for Mountain Crest. Last season, as you might remember, they didn't do so hot, but in 2017 they had something to prove. The Mustangs rumbled through the region, losing just one nail-biter of a game to Skyview, and eventually played their way to the state title game. Trying to snatch their first state championship since 2005, the Mustangs took on the Orem Tigers and started off hot under cold conditions. The senior Bo Robinson was all over the field, sacking Orem QB Cooper Legaw and pumping his fist. The Mustang defense held strong even after an interception put Orem knocking on the door. Here, Tanner Lofthouse flies out of nowhere and tosses Legaw to the wet turf. At halftime, the Tigers were only up 6-0, even after 2 early Mustang turnovers. In the third quarter, the Mountain Crest offense showed some life. There goes Josh Powell trucking through Orem defenders and taking off helmets. But time and time again, the Mustang drives would stall. That wasn't the case for Orem. Clayson Christiansen caps a nice drive by taking the handoff up the middle, cutting it to the left, and bowling his way into the end zone. Christiansen had 90 yards on only 4 carries in the game. Down 12-0 in the fourth, Mountain Crest Brady Hall started airing it out, ripping it 44 yards to his go-to, Nick Nethercott. But Orem would answer. Here the C parts for Orem's Sawatoa. Hall dodges, but would have nowhere to go but into the arms of Orem's Austin Kirby. Then on the next play, Tassili Fiatoa gets his share, gobbling up Hall in the backfield. And later, Orem receiver Puka Nakua catches this touchdown and ties the state touchdown reception record with 24. And that's all she wrote, Taylor. Orem takes state for the first time since '94, and Mountain Crest lays an egg. So Taylor, Mountain Crest couldn't get much offense going in that rain and the snow, but there's always next year, and they still have Brady Hall.
Brady Hall had himself a big year this year. I think he finished second in the Valley for yards.
I think you're right, yeah.
All right. And that's all we have for ATV Sports. We'll send it back to the desk. Brady and Brian, back.
All right, thanks, guys. When we come back, a new display is in the library. We'll show you what it is and who made it.
And the North Pole is here in Cache Valley. We'll show you who already has the Christmas spirit.
Sorry, I've got big ideas. As a college student, you have big ideas to make a big difference on campus. Why not get funding for those ideas in a big way? The Blue Goes Green Grant provides funding for student sustainability projects. These projects help USU students be more environmentally responsible, live healthier, and save money. To find out more, go to usu.edu/BGG. Get funding for your Blue Goes Green.
Listen now, can you hear the bluebirds? Oh, look up now, can you feel the sun? Whoa, 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 whoa. Can you feel the sun?
Welcome back. You can now check out a new book display here on campus in the Merrill Kayzier Library. The Roots display, located in the basement of USU's library, shows books written about herbs and their uses from the 17th century until now. And it is organized entirely by students here at Utah State.
The goal of this course is really to learn to communicate in a different way. That is through the production of an exhibit that would be for public consumption.
You can walk through the display during normal library hours. It will be set up through January 26th.
The North Pole has northern lights and polar bears, but if you can't travel there, Logan still has something for you. This white macaw is being held by these girls at Zoo Lights, an annual event called Zoota at Willow Park. Inside, you can hold a macaw like this one, and outside there are lights and Christmas decorations that light up most of the enclosures. Volunteers say 30,000 lights were donated to the zoo this year, and Laura Vanderbeek, a volunteer bird trainer and head of Zoo Lights, says she loves seeing people still coming to the zoo.
I love the lights. Put them up, it brightens things up, and it brings a lot of joy to others.
The lights will be turned on every Monday, Friday, and Saturday from now until Christmas. Go to our Facebook page to find out more information about Zoo Lights and Reindeer Days for Zoota at Willow Park.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of ATV News.
Catch all the latest editions of ATV News on our Facebook page. You can also check out our exclusive interviews on our YouTube channel.
And finally, we'll leave you with what students say they're grateful for. Have a great Thanksgiving, Aggies.
Thanksgiving break starts tomorrow.
I'm thankful for friends, family, and a lot of the exposure I've had here at Utah State to get opportunities that I've never had anywhere else.
I'm thankful for band and music and the way it shaped my life.
I'm thankful